Welcome to another edition of SAG TV News. I am Alicia George. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, Castle Bruce residents show confidence in village council members by voting them back into office. Chief Justice speaks out on OACS heads of government lack of financial assistance to the court. From the region, Barbados Tourism and International Transport Minister is new chairman of CTO. And internationally, Scotland's voters seek independence from United Kingdom. In sports, Petro-Caribe Saints advanced to final of Carib Sand and Stone 7 Cricket League. Details of these and other stories will follow. Welcome back. 8 new councillors were inducted into the Castle Bruce Village Council during its 17th inaugural meeting on Wednesday. Chairman Angelica Gasper, Ostel Lockhart, Franklin Mingo, Kurt Cadet, Rosette Alfred, Deborah Ferguson, Craig St. Louis, and Darius Christmas were all sworn into the council to serve the Castle Bruce community for the next 3 years. During the ceremony, Gasper thanked the residents for their support of the council, noting that it demonstrates their confidence in the council members and its ability to develop the community.
Though we were with financial constraints due to the non-payments of our house rates and not enough of fundraising activities by the council, we were still able to do some small but significant projects.
Gasper said the council has administered several hundreds of thousands of dollars into community development projects with the support of the parliamentary representative, Honorable Johnson Drygo.
The council was able to administer funds of $229,500 under the housing program, $120,000 under the toilet project, $100,000 for small business assistance, $301,219 for the phase 1 of the Jalousie Road rehabilitation project.
Honorable Drygo, who also spoke at the inauguration, said he is happy that the government was able to make funds available to the council.
I am so happy that through the government system, in particular with the support of the Prime Minister and all the ministries, we've been able to make monies available because we have confidence in the Castle Bruce Village Council to implement the projects that we want to implement in this community. And therefore, the Prime Minister makes the funds available, I take it to the council, and the council implements and supervises the project. That's why they were re-elected.
The minister said he makes no apology for the amount of money injected into those projects, as it was seen as necessary to develop that community. Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, ECSC, Dame Janice Pereira, has called out heads of governments of the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, OACS, for their lack of financial support to the court. Speaking at the opening of the 2014-2015 law year on Wednesday, Justice Pereira described the budgetary funds allocated to the court as woefully inadequate, considering the importance of the work of the courts to the economic well-being of our countries.
The declining fiscal situation in the member states and territories has contributed considerably to exacerbating the difficulties faced by the court, which is financed by the contributions of each member state and territory. In 7 out of the 9 member states and territories, the court's national budgetary allocation is below 1%. To put it more figuratively, the national contributions, even when combined, are but a mere drop in the bucket when compared to the entire national budget of each contributor.
Justice Pereira said additionally the court is strained by irregular and tardy payments of contributions from member states and territories. She pointed out, however, that finances are just one of the major challenges affecting the court's reform initiative. The Chief Justice also blamed the delay in preparations of transcripts as a major challenge among the territories.
The delay in the preparation of transcripts has been a major challenge in most of the member states and territories, so much so that in a number of instances we have had to look at outsourcing this task outside of our region. This is not the desired approach.
However, the Chief Justice said the court is making every effort to address this with the use of technology by promoting and assisting with the implementation of digital audio recording of courtroom proceedings.
Digital audio recording equipment was purchased and is available for use by all the judges, masters, and magistrates in St. Lucia. Additionally, funding has been approved by the British High Commission for the purchase and installation of this equipment in one courtroom in each of the other independent member states. Currently, an audit is being conducted in respect of recording equipment in every courtroom or chamber throughout the OECS.
Justice Pereira is hoping to witness the implementation of digital audio recording as the official record of proceedings to reduce the need to type and print the transcript. Chief Justice Pereira called for uniformity in the court fee structure across the OECS jurisdiction. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court was established in 1967 by the West Indies Associated States Supreme Court and is a superior court of record for the 9 member states of the OECS. The second meeting of the 5th session of the 8th Parliament of the Commonwealth of Dominica commenced on Wednesday at the House of Assembly. Matters on the order paper for the day included the status of roads in the St. Joseph constituency, information regarding the Layu Abattoir, repair works on the farm access roads, information pertaining to Petro-Caribe, and supplementary estimates of expenditure for the financial year ending June 30th, 2014, among other matters. SAT-TV News will bring you updates on Parliament proceedings in a subsequent newscast. When we return, DSE students sensitized about National Reparations Campaign. Welcome back. The newly formed National Reparations Committee, NRC, is continuing its public sensitization efforts to ensure Dominicans have the full knowledge of the organization's plans and objectives. This was evident on Thursday as the committee held a panel discussion at the Dominica State College, DSC, on the subject of reparations. Member of the committee, Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, said the main objective of the NRC is to seek reparations from the British and other European governments for the enslavement of Caribbean people before Emancipation Days.
What has been done is that every CARICOM state has established a reparations committee, and Dominica has established theirs under the chairmanship of Dr. Dabian Dublin. A number of us were nominated by the state to be a member of this committee and commission. And therefore, the point of it is that we collect from Dominica all of the information related to slavery in Dominica. But Dominica has an additional interest in this because of the Kalinago people. And so the Kalinago chief is a member also of the commission, and the interests of that group of people is added to that of slavery.
The panelists included Josiah Benoit, Natalie Charles, Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, and members of the committee, which was moderated by Dr. Damian Dublin, chairperson of the NRC. Dr. Honeychurch said the event was a great opportunity for students of the Dominica State College, especially those majoring in the social sciences, to learn about historical events such as the slave trade and the effects of slavery on the people of the Caribbean.
What has been done over the last few months since the committee was formed is to put together information, particularly historical documents, which show the treatment of the Kalinago people and the enslaved descendants of African arrivals, and the conditions under which they were forced to live, and many of the aspects of punishment and enforced labor and lack of freedom that was instituted, both by the laws of Dominica and by various courts which had been established to try particularly rebel slaves and Maroons who were fighting against the system for the liberation of themselves and their fellow enslaved persons.
He said this document has been compiled and sent to CARICOM, which will then compile all regional issues related to the reparations. CARICOM will then send the document to hired lawyers in the United Kingdom who will present their case for reparations. Dr. Honeychurch added, at that point, the local reparations committee will continue public awareness campaign while awaiting the outcome of the reparations matter in the United Kingdom. The Dominica-Cuba Friendship Association and the Cuban ambassador to Dominica is continuing to appeal to the United States authorities for the release of the Cuban 5 who were imprisoned on September 12, 1998. The 5 were Cuban intelligence officers convicted in Miami of conspiracy to commit espionage, conspiracy to commit murder, acting as an agent of a foreign government, and other illegal activities in the United States. However, President of the Dominica-Cuba Friendship Association, Frankie Lowe, says the 5 were arrested after relaying critical information to the United States to their ambassador concerning activities which were soon to be executed by terrorist anti-Cuba groups based in Miami.
It is not difficult to see why Cuba was forced into such monitoring actions after having suffered from atrocious acts of terrorism orchestrated or supported by the anti-Cuba terrorist groups who have operated freely on American soil. Acts such as the infamous Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, which was carried out by US-supported mercenaries.
He added the Cuban people have also suffered from acts of mercenaries, including the bombing of Flight 355 off the coast of Barbados in 1976, an act which killed 78 Cubans. Lowe said it is against this background that the association stands in strong solidarity with the Cuban people for the liberation of the Cuban 5. Meanwhile, Cuban ambassador to Dominica, Joana Elena Ramos, also added her voice to the cause.
I want to say that the case of the Cuban 5 is a highly sensitive issue for the government of Cuba and for the people of Cuba. As Frankie said, the Cuban 5 are anti-terrorist fighters. They traveled to the U.S. and infiltrated in terrorist organizations to prevent actions from Florida-based terrorist groups which act with impunity against Cuba. The Cuban 5 were incarcerated 16 years ago in 12 of September 1998 after undergoing an unjust trial, which took place under an adverse scenario in Miami.
The ambassador said although 2 have been freed, they want the remaining 3, who have been in prison for 16 years, released. The 2 freed have stated that they will not be completely free until their brothers have returned to Cuba. Chairman of the Coolibri Monrachet Village Council, Erickson Robinson, said the community of Monrachet has received a significant boost with the construction of a new resource center. Robinson made the statement during the opening ceremony at the Monrachet Resource Center last Friday.
Monrachet development has just received a big boost. Whatever our vision in terms of growth may be, it will be a good thing to allow whatever strategies that we develop for our own growth. Secondly, this is a center. While this may be located not in the center of the village for now, we can accept that it will become the center of our social and our growth development of this community.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, commended residents of the Monrachet community for taking up the responsibility to construct the center. The Prime Minister also commended them for their persistence towards the initiative.
But we have to take responsibility of our own future and our own development. And I believe you here in Monrachet have demonstrated that you needed a resource center. You went and you negotiated for the land on your own. You got the land on your own. You negotiated with the plans on your own. You got the plans on your own. You did the estimates on your own. You got the estimates on your own. You started raising funds, and then you went and you asked for funds.
Prime Minister Skerrit further committed to providing the group with an additional $30,000 to tile the floors and promised another $70,000 for the improvement of the road leading to and beyond the resource center. Both amounts were expected to be handed over to the community on Tuesday, September 16, 2014. Over 70,000 square feet of land was provided by Dennis Shillingford free of charge, and $270,000 of the $320,000 project was provided by the government. This has been the local segment of the news.